I need to show you some of my accounts because I made over $10,000 on prop firms today. Here is one of my top step accounts. You can see $1,588. That is on a funded. Here is a funded from Lucid as well with $1,500. That was today. Here is another funded. This one's on Tradevate. I accidentally clicked on Tradevate for this one. I don't know. Let me see if I'm covering that up. There you go. There's another $1,500. So now we're at like $4,500 right there. This is an eval on Lucid. So another $1,500 to get us to like $6,000. Here's another eval, $1,500 to get us to like 7,500. I have a bunch of funded accounts that I'm farming the days on to get payouts on top of as well. So there's like, $200, $600, $150, $155. There's like another 1,000 there. And then you're just going to have to take my word for it that I also passed 3 evals today. Obviously I don't have screenshots of that because those evals then turned into funded accounts. Some of the very funded accounts here that I was able to get $1,500 days on. So today was an absolutely insane day. One of the best days of my trading career. Just making a ton of money on the prop firms. And again, these are either already turning into payouts or going to be turning into payouts hopefully very soon this week. It's going to be a huge week. We're off to a huge start this month. Things are looking really, really good. And in this video, I'm going to show you the exact strategy that I used to have a crazy day like this. And yeah, you can steal the strategy. You can use it for yourself and you can start making money on prop firms as well today. So here we are on Top Step and I have a bunch of trades mapped out. I don't know why that just disappeared. We need to get this back to the beginning. So my trading strategy is very, very simple, and it's very simple by design. One, it needs to be simple because I'm trading my accounts individually, so I need to have a simple strategy that I can just kind of iterate on over and over and over again. And also, I think a simple strategy that is executed nearly flawlessly is going to be a hell of a lot better than a super complicated strategy that maybe in theory is a little bit better or whatever, but you'll never even be able to really use it accurately and perfectly in real time, especially when the pressure's on, the lights, all the stuff is going on. So my strategy is simple. First, we need to find a high time frame bias. Now, for this, I use the 1 hour. This is my high time frame bias. We're going to go to the beginning of the day. Again, my favorite session to trade is definitely New York. So here is the open, and here is what we were looking at. Here's the 9 o'clock candle. So before the open, we were looking at back here, and I'm looking for a break of structure and to just see what overall is going on. And what I can see here is what I'm looking at coming into the day. The most recent thing that we saw was probably like a break of structure right around here. We had structure from some of these candles. This candle kind of rips through it, and then we were just continuing to go up. Like there's nothing really at all here that shows me to be bearish whatsoever. I mean, you can see we're kind of just going straight up. We had broken some structure back here as well. We have even broken some structure right here now coming into today. Like we have broken a bunch of structure to the upside, almost no structure to the downside. I don't think it's very hard to understand why. Coming into this day, we were very bullish. We were wanting to take longs. We were wanting to click the buy button. And guess what? That's pretty much what we did. We just kept clicking the buy button and it kept working. And obviously, if it's not broke, you don't need to fix it. I did not mean to delete all that stuff, so I'm going to pull it back up. Now let's go to the 1 minute and start looking at the executions, because after I find my high time frame bias, which can also flip during the day if things would have started selling off and we started to have a break of structure to the downside in the 1 hour, my bias can absolutely flip intraday. That is, something that I think some people, they're like, oh, I came into the day with this bias and it started not working and I lost 50 trades in a row that day or whatever. Like, no, your high time frame bias can absolutely change within the same day, but there was no reason to do that today. So I go down to the 1 minute. This is where I do my executions, and then I look for breaks of structure in the direction of my bias, and I try to take a bunch of trades in the way of my bias. Again, I do not copy trade. I trade all of my accounts individually. I spread out my risk across all the accounts. So, I'm not blowing 5 accounts at once or 20 accounts at once or whatever. Like if I have a bad trade or I get tilted or I have a bad day or my bias is wrong or it's a choppy day, I'm just blowing 1 account at a time. And then after every single account, I can reevaluate. I can take a step back. I can take a deep breath and I can figure out what the heck's going on. So again, we're looking for a break of structure and we're looking to take a long. Now here, very first candle, this is the 9:30 candle. This is the New York Open. This is already perfect because you can see here, we had a little bit of structure going on and we break it with this candle to the upside and we are going to be entering there. And this trade went straight up to full profit right off the beginning of the day, 1 for 1. We're already off to a hot start. And this is like an A+ setup. This looks so good. Like super strong candle, break structure in the direction of our high time frame bias. No wick at the top of the candle at all. Like so much momentum going up. Not shocked at all that that won. Now, this was a 0.75 risk reward ratio trade. That's pretty much what I do on all my prop firm trades right now. Like, yeah, I have the $150 days that you have to farm once you build up some balance and stuff like that. But other than that, I do 0.75 for my evals. I do 0.75 0.75 for my fundeds, and that math, the math of it just works out really, really well for prop firms with the different, ratios they give you of drawdown to the prop firm rules you need to hit and the balance targets you need to hit and stuff like that. From all the testing and things that I found out, the 0.75 just kind of works really, really well across the board. So all the trades that I'm going to show today are going to be 0.75. Which is obviously going to give us a little bit of a higher win rate, but it's not going to, even in theory or on paper, it's not going to give as high of a win rate as we saw today. So now we skip ahead. I'm kind of looking for the next, break of structure, and I don't really see any on this move up. There are some pullbacks and stuff like that, but there's also a lot of wicks. Again, I do want to say I'm looking for 5 candle structures. I'm looking for 1 candle sticking out with 2 candles on the side of it. I know some people will look for a 3 candle structure. So if you're looking for that, you might see some different breaks of structure and stuff like that going on, but I don't really see anything like that. I also want a clean break of structure. I don't want anything that's getting wicked. So like right here, I'll draw this line out. You can see like right here, this is obviously a 5 candle structure, but it gets wicked here. And yes, it does get broken on the next candle, but to me, I think it's kind of invalidated once it gets wicked up. So I'm looking for an untapped 5 candle structure that gets broken through cleanly. So the next one that we get is right here. There's going to be at 10:05. You can see here we do break this structure, and then we're going to enter on this candle. Obviously, once it completes, really, really strong candle, big green candle, breaks through the structure nicely, tons of momentum. And here you can see 0.75 risk reward ratio, and this trade does win. It goes up, kind of comes back down. That's totally fine. I don't touch the trades once I'm in them, nothing like that. We're usually not like moving to break even, anything. Maybe once we're going for $150 days, but just kind of eval trades, first trades unfunded, whatever, not touching anything. Find the clean setup, enter the trade, take my hands off, we see what happens, and it did end up going for a full win. So I'll delete that and get that out of the way now. And then we get here, again, you can see this is 10:27, just a little bit later. You can see break of structure right there with this candle, and then we're going to enter on the next one. Obviously, as soon as that candle closes, 0.75 risk reward ratio. My stop loss is always going at the bottom of the most recent swing low, and then doing a 0.75 risk reward ratio from there. Again, this trade does eventually win. You can see we don't really ever even get close to our drawdown or anything like that. And then we have a couple of different other setups, which sometimes I will enter the same trade at multiple times, depending on how many prop firm accounts you have. If you have 5, 10, 15, 20 accounts to get through, you might have to layer them in sometimes. Now, if you have 2 accounts or 3 accounts or 1 account, obviously you don't need to layer in trades or anything like that. You can let one trade play fully out and then kind of see what happens. But if I see another good entry, depending on how many accounts I have to cycle through at that time, I will definitely take it. Now, we did see a break of structure here. This is at the 11:01 candle. Again, something really, really nice. I set it to the bottom of the most recent swing low for my stop loss, and then 0.75 risk reward ratio, and that ends up being full profit as well. Almost never really got in drawdown there. A little bit later, this candle at 11:09 is going to give us another break. You breaks the structure there. We're going to enter on the next one. It kind of goes down a little bit, but then we go up to a win. Again, stop loss at the bottom of the most recent swing low, 0.75 risk reward ratio, boom. And then even a couple minutes later, we do break this structure here on this 5 candle structure. And then again, this is a much smaller trade, but that's because the volatility kind of started to die down. You won't always have the exact number of contracts and everything you need to take trades like that. So if I did need to, widen this trade out a little bit to make it make sense, we also could have done that, which I believe still would have ended up winning. We can kind of space that out. So even if we did need to widen out a little bit, it should still work pretty well. Today was absolutely insane. I can't remember if I went 10 for 11 or 11 for 12. Again, I'm cycling a ton of funded accounts. I'm on right now I'm using Top Step and Lucid, but I want to continue to take payouts, take profits, reinvest them into more accounts, and kind of keep the snowball rolling. But I had a bunch of evals, a bunch of fundeds, a bunch of different stuff going on. So I had to take a bunch of trades and keep cycling through stuff, and today was definitely one of the biggest and craziest days of my trading career so far, because everything lined up perfectly. We had an insane trend day. I identified the trend correctly. I rode that trend for maximum profit across as many accounts as I possibly could, and we are off to a great start in this week so far. I've already taken $3,500 of payouts so far this week, and now we are set up for the rest of the week to potentially take more payouts. I have an account that will potentially be taking a payout tomorrow. I have a couple accounts that'll be hopefully taking payouts by the end of the week. This could be a really, really massive week. And like I said, if you want to have prop firm results like this, try out my strategy. Check me out on Instagram, subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're definitely going to have stuff like a playbook coming out soon. We're going to be starting a Discord soon. We're going to have the mentorship/coaching program coming soon. I just want to, make as much money off these accounts and farm prop firms while they're so juicy as I can. And I want to help other people and traders change their lives as well. So if that's what you're looking for, you are definitely in the right place. Pretty much it was the video today, guys. Hopefully I catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.